Okay, this week we are traveling into your dreams, or you're traveling into ours, or something of that such. We're doing Dream Scenario, a film that is very unexpected in a lot of ways. It's kind of a dark comedy, but also elements of horror and suspense and psychological stuff. Is it about cancel culture? Is it about celebrity? Is it about projections of people versus the reality of those people? Is it about inaction? Is it about the gap between who you are and who you want to be? So many different things.
A lot of different things.
A lot of different scenarios. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Well, we will talk about it today, Hunter.
Yeah, we are. That's what I said.
And while we're having that discussion, I need to ask you a question.
Okay. Is Atlanta for dreamers?
Is Atlanta... It's really cool that you wore that shirt. Can you see it? Or is your laptop in the way?
I don't know.
In the / the bed. Stand up for everybody. Stand up for the...
I can't
stand up for YouTube.
You know I can't stand up in this.
Stand up for YouTube while I say... Well, he's not standing. His butt cheeks hurt.
My butt cheeks do hurt.
But is Dream Scenario good?
Let's talk about it.
And we're also going to talk about why do your butt cheeks hurt, but we'll do that in the episode.
You'll never know.
But is it good podcast? Yeah. Was it a workout? Was it Sean? Did Sean T
Both.
make your butt cheeks hurt?
Sean T made my butt cheeks hurt. Actually, in all seriousness, yeah, it was Sean T.
Sean T clapped your cheeks.
Sean T clapped my cheeks, man. He wore them out.
Yep.
He dug deeper.
Oh, God. Stop. Welcome to
I can cut that out.
the But Is It Good
I can cut
podcast.
that out.
We can keep it in.
No, it's fine. Well,
Not a sponsor.
The program is called Dig Deeper. It's really good. It's a good program.
I heard a noise come from your laptop.
And I'm sorry. And what had happened was, so last week I was at Disney, which is why there was an episode. Sorry.
Partly also my fault because I can't record by myself. I tried.
It didn't work?
It was awful.
I
I did 10 minutes, and then I listened back to it, and I was like, no.
What movie were you doing?
We're not doing this.
What movie were you doing?
I was doing... What was I doing? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, that needs to be us, though. Because you love that movie.
Oh, I do love that movie, and the first 10 minutes when I was talking about... I watched it with you, and I was like... You know when you watch a movie with someone, you just like watch them watch the movie because you're like, I like this movie. Like if we watch Inside Llewyn Davis, you're gonna be like,
yeah,
does Zach like it? So I watched it with you, and we watched it at your apartment in Atlanta, and it was late at night, and you didn't like react at all, and then you were like, it was good, and then you went to bed, and I left, and I was like, he hated it. He hated one of my favorite movies. That's kind of what I was talking about, but it didn't go well.
But I was saying what happened is that I was in Disney from Wednesday through like this Wednesday. I like didn't work out because life and Disney and stuff. And then
it's okay, we'll forgive you.
Well,
I didn't either.
And then Thursday, was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday I hit. No, it would have been Friday. I hit legs pretty hard, and I'm quite sore.
Yep.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
My butt cheeks hurt, but it's okay. I'm your host, Hunter Callahan.
I'm your host. Sorry, I'm thinking about the Sean T. Dig Deeper thing.
That's
Sorry.
pretty funny. I'm going to cut it out.
I am your host, Zach Olson, and this is the But Is It Good podcast where we talk about movies and tell you if they're good, but also talk about other stuff and go on rants about things.
We will do all those things today, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Dream Scenario. We ever doing Dream Scenario? So I'm going to post today, as of this recording, when this is released, it's the 15th of April. I will be releasing the schedule for like the next month and a half, probably tomorrow, probably on the 16th. We're making sure.
Probably.
We're making sure some things are still in theaters and are able to be viewed before confirming them. That is what's happening. Anyway, how's life? How are you? You good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I mean, we've talked about your cheeks.
Yeah, we're gonna go see Monster Trucks today, which I'm kind of dreading, but
Down in
whatever.
Griffin, right?
Yes.
My dad was
Hampton, I
sorry,
believe is what it is.
Hampton.
Yes.
My dad was like, oh, that's right by where I work. And I was like, cool.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah, we're going to that.
He's going to
thing.
get a dose of good old Southern.
Oh man. It wasn't our idea. I mean, I'm excited for him, but like it wasn't. We weren't like, hey, let's go to the Monster Trucks. We were told that, hey, we're gonna go to the Monster Trucks.
I remember going to motocross with you.
Oh, I was in a pissy mood too. I remember that day
Mm-hmm.
for some reason. I was just one of those days.
Yeah.
I had those days every now and then.
It was you, me, Trey, Chase, and Will.
Will?
Was anyone else there? Was that the group?
I thought it was Daniel and Ashley too.
Daniel and Ashley were. Daniel was there for
Yeah,
sure,
they
and
were there.
Ashley was probably there as well.
Yeah.
And I remember getting there and it starting and me thinking, oh, you know what I mean, like, because I
know
never
exactly what you mean.
I had never been to an event like that,
Yeah.
and then it started in like the opening ceremony or whatever it was, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
It's fun. I mean, like motocross is tight, and like Monster Trucks, I was just like, I mean, earlier this morning, my father-in-law was playing with Hollis because he has a bunch of Monster Trucks.
yeah.
And he was like, "Who's gonna win?" And I was like, "Do people win at Monster Trucks, or is it just
Someone's gonna win.
drink beer and watch?"
No.
them smash
Someone's
stuff?
y'all gotta cheer for a truck.
Is Gravedigger still a thing?
I don't know. I don't watch. I don't watch them.
I remember that name from when I was like 8.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're doing that today, and then I'm going to Wisconsin for a week.
That's a white week. Just
Yeah.
monster trucks and then a week of Wisconsin. Like, you need some cheese. They
man.
got a bunch of cheese
I
up in
know,
Wisconsin.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to Madison, then I'm going to Milwaukee.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got a busy week coming up.
Mhm.
But cool. Ready to jump right in?
Diving cap is on. Diving cap is on.
Sploosh.
I'm on the
Board.
I'm on the edge.
Who we have? Mr. Olson. He's he needs at least a 9.7 to get a gold. So here he goes. He's good. Form's nice. Here he goes. Oh wow, he did the. I'm gonna make it stupid if I keep going.
I did the fart belly flop.
Fart belly flop. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect form.
Let's see the scores. He's waiting for his score. Here we go. There's the rating. 9.8. Gold medal to Zach Olson.
Yeah. See, the fart belly flop
That's
is all
gonna be a
about
t-shirt.
the shock followed by the spread of the water. So, like, if you jump in the center of the pool and people in Canada get wet, then you did pretty good. Fart belly flop.
You sure that says that? But it's a good fart belly flop. Okay, so we did dream scenario.
Mm-hmm. We're doing.
We're doing first reactions. Because I saw this. I guys know it's your turn. Not my turn. I almost started.
It was so natural for you to start. Why don't you go?
Okay. Are you sure? Or does that mean I'm like self-absorbed?
No. I'm
Or
serious.
is it both?
A little bit of the self-absorbed, but most of it was genuine. Like, go.
Okay. I remember seeing this trailer and being like, that looks fascinating. And we never saw it.
Yep.
And now we did.
These are all true, true statements.
It was fascinating. We're like in the renaissance of Nick Cage. I guess not really. It's been going on for a while, ever since Pig. But I think I might have said this when we watched Pig.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dislike Nick Cage. I also don't really care for Nick Cage. What?
You're hurting my heart.
Well, like I'm saying, like I'm not. He's not like my favorite actor. Like I think he's fine. But in Pig and in this, like I forgot that I was watching Nick Cage. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I mean it as a compliment. I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like he's so not Nick Cage, but also still it's like Chris Walken. Like it's even when they're not being the stereotypical version of themselves, they still fit. But I thought he was phenomenal in this movie, and I thought the different like peaks and valleys that he had were super interesting. I thought the concept is fascinating. And I think it says a lot of things about kind of modern culture and the modern zeitgeist, if you will, What?
No, I'm just it's a podcast term. I looked at the camera.
Was that
Every time you say like a
podcast term?
yeah, like a podcast term.
Let me
Like
try and think of some other
like
ones.
sorry, I don't mean to hijack,
No,
but
it's
you
fine.
know we're going to talk about the fact that all memes become dreams, right?
Yeah,
That was mentioned in the movie.
it
I don't know
was.
if you
Is that a phrase that we've heard before?
No, it was just this guy who was being. We'll get to it.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Um,
Sorry, I thought you would get the joke and laugh, and you didn't.
I didn't get it.
See how he does?
I
Like,
didn't
this
get
is
it when
why I'm worried about discussing Eternal Sunshines with you. Because if you don't like it as much as I do,
Well, I just didn't get the
I
joke.
don't know how I'll react.
Didn't get the joke. I didn't get the joke when I watched the movie. Is that like a thing?
It was this guy who was just being annoying to his wife, and he was because she wanted to talk about this project, and she was really passionate about the project, and then he's like, "Oh well, I was talking to this guy."
I remember the scene. But is that?
And he was talking about two guys that have a podcast, and they were talking about how all memes become.
Oh, okay. I forgot the part.
And we're two guys with a podcast. You'd really not get the connection.
I got it now.
It's just not funny to you.
I got it.
It's not
No,
funny
I just
to you.
missed it.
Okay.
Well, we will talk about that. We'll talk about it. I was gonna say something. I forgot what it was.
I'm so mad.
No, I thought it was great. I never felt like it was weird enough that like some movies can be so weird that they're silly, but this one was like interesting, weird. Does that make sense? And I was kind of immersed the entire time. I really, really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I think I texted you. You didn't text me back because you hate me, but I mean, it's true, isn't it?
I didn't text you back because I've worked 55 hours this week.
Oh wow.
So
Then you don't you get paid for that though?
I do, but I
So
was busy.
why
I was
are you-
working. Are you salaried?
Yeah.
So it hurts you that I make overtime.
No, I don't. I'm glad for you.
You're glad for me. And it doesn't look like it.
Anyway, I texted you pretty early on. I said I already love this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to just cut? You want to just end the podcast? Just cancel it. You're watching it real time.
All together, we're done right now.
I'm gonna delete all the socials.
I'll leave. You think I won't?
What did you think about the movie?
Motherfucker. I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. I too was hooked from the onset of the film because it starts with. I think I can say it starts with a dream,
Yeah.
like a dream sequence.
I wonder what's A24's record with us. Pretty good.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Different topic. Continue.
It's a different topic, but we have to do we should do like
An A24.
it's gonna be it's gonna be a big project, but all the studios,
Oh shit.
all the movies that we've reviewed on the but see what the record is to see who's. But A24's got to be in first place
gotta
because
be in first place.
most things that I think the only A24 film that I've actively not been a fan of was Men.
Just because I was like, what? Like at the end, it was like, hold on a minute. This
Mhm.
is.
And maybe we just didn't get it.
Maybe we just didn't
Anyways,
get it.
This film, yeah, it was great. It was phenomenal throughout. It made me frustrated at times, but I think it was meant to, right? Like there's these things going on that he has to deal with that, I don't know. I was getting pissed off at people. And I think it has a really powerful message, but it's one that you could miss at the end. Like in the final scene, I mean,
Yeah,
like the very last scene, I think there's something there that you could miss and just be like, what the hell was that? So like if people don't like the ending, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there's a very powerful message there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Cage is in his renaissance. Cut that out. He is not. Fuck you.
Because he never went away.
Because he never went away. He's been good since, what's the first film that Nick Cage did here?
Didn't he win an Oscar pretty early on?
He's been good since Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Mm.
Okay. He was in, I haven't heard of any of these. The Rock, Con Air, Face Off. All those were within a 2-year period. You've seen all those, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually only seen part of Face Off, but I know that I know.
Face Off is
I know the
so
premise. I
good.
know it's Travolta and him, and
Face Off is
I do
so
love.
good.
I do love Con Air.
Okay.
I'm gonna grow my hair out again just so I can be Nick Cage again.
You could be
I could be Nick
you could do
Cage,
that. Yeah. With the
with tank top on.
yeah, with the tank.
Blowing in the wind.
And I can be Steve Buscemi in the background
Doing what? Just
in a cage.
oh.
You know how he's just caged on the plane. And then when they hijack it and land it or whatever, he just goes and like drinks tea and leaves.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything bad.
Good for him.
Good for him. Anyways,
Yep.
this film, I think it's a really interesting exploration into how we can be so affected by something that's 100% in our mind. Like it does not line up with reality. And yet it has like an effect in the real world, right?
There's so many different like ways this movie could be interpreted.
I'm interpreting it the way I want to.
I didn't say you could.
And you your face.
What about it?
It's so
Just breathe. Breathe through it.
all right, I'm back. Okay. We can that's it. That's all I got. So now it's time for Hunter, I love you. It's time for spoilers.
Thank you. I love you too.
Yesterday he texted me and said, "I doesn't matter."
I totally missed that too.
And I said, "Hold on a second. Yes, you do matter." I should have said, "Yes, you does matter."
Yes, he does. I totally missed that. I do that all the time. Spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie, spoilers ahead from here on out, please. This is movie in a minute time. Movie in a minute time.
I'm gonna time you. Or are you gonna time you?
I got it. This is dream scenario. Movie in a minute. Sorry, I'm in a weird mood, man.
What's that?
Is there a problem?
Or was it just like sticking out?
This is an adapter.
Sure, but like, why is it just in there? Would you
So
just leave?
So I don't lose it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Because your headphones plug into this.
So it's not like
into the headphones.
drawing anything because it's like, oh, there's something plugged into me. Sand.
No, it's not doing that.
It's not doing that. Because that's
That
what I would be like.
Really good.
If someone, if I was an electronic device and something was plugged into me, I'd be like, ooh, that's electricity.
Send. I actually
Those are
control.
waves.
I can send something through there, but nothing happened. But I do that on my computer.
If you did it, could we see it?
Could you see?
What you're saying?
No.
Like, would it be like
Just
little waves?
Yeah, just a little like.
Well,
you know,
because
like
normally,
it's the sound waves, but it's just
normally
that.
all the colors would be going through the cables. That's
All
why
the
they
colors?
have. That's why they have the black rubber around it. So you know, because otherwise it'd be too bright in the room. So like if there's no cable there, wouldn't we see the colors coming out?
Yes. If you go,
Not like a prism. It'd be like a stream, like a steady stream of just like rainbow.
yeah, there's a lot happening out there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's fine.
What are we doing? Movie in a minute. Here we go. This is
Dream
dream scenario.
scenario.
Here we go. In movie in a minute. In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so we have Nick Cage of Paul. Paul he's at the pool with his daughter. His daughter's like dreaming about stuff up in the sky. Anyway, she's floating up. She's like, "Hey, Dad, I had this dream about you. You did nothing." He's like, "I did nothing." Anyway, fast forward. He's kind of passive and timid. And everybody in the world, lots of people in the world, keep having dreams about him, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's him!" But he never does anything, so it really bothers him. He wants to like be somebody. He wants to get credit for his work. Blah blah blah. He gets famous because everybody had dreams about this one guy, Paul. Then Paul's like, "I guess I can capitalize this." So he goes to see Michael Cera, get a PR firm. I can work with Sprite and Obama and stuff. Try to write a book. Anyway, he gets really famous, and he starts kind of changing. He almost hooks up with this chick who had a sex dream about him, and he farts instead. And he gets all awkward. And then people start having nightmares about him, like killing them in their dreams. And then he has one about himself. Anyway, he gets like canceled. And then basically his life like falls apart, but also he becomes a famous book writer. But he loses his wife and his family. He hurts his woman, and then the dreams stop, and then that's it. Oh, and then he sees his wife in the dream. That's the end. I messed up. I didn't mess up.
It was perfect.
Perfect.
It was a minute on the dot.
But the last scene's pretty important.
Yeah, the last scene is pretty important.
But
I agree.
I messed that up. Anyway.
So here we are.
Here we are.
How would you like to begin?
With an abstract question. Because I want to know. Because I think we can talk about this movie technically, and kind of like the plot is very interesting, and I think it's really cool. But I want to know what this movie is about to you, sir. What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What is it about to you? Like, what is this movie saying?
I want chicken wings. I made up my mind.
Okay, good. I'm glad you did.
Can you order me some chicken wings?
I can do that. I'm not going to right now, though. Because I'm a bad person.
Okay. All right. You can order them on the way to when you're on the way to the
Monster Jam.
You just order me some
You
chicken
eat
wings.
some chicken wings to your house.
Yeah,
Perfect.
from Wings and Things. Wings and
From
Things.
Wings and Things.
The Tyrone
that's
one.
pretty good. Those are good. I like the lemon pepper.
I like the lemon pepper
Yeah,
too. I like to get
They
the
got good fries.
hot yaki and ask them to like kind of toss them in some lemon pepper.
Oh wow.
It's really good. Really flavorful.
I like their fries, and I'll dip my fries in like lemon pepper sauce.
Yeah.
It's kind of like at the bottom of the basket.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it's not just like, because some places just do like a dry lemon
it's a
pepper.
good blend. It's a good blend.
But it's like it's butter or something because it's like liquidy, you know?
It's moist.
Moist lemon pepper.
There it is. You know what's funny? I
What?
started doing. Sorry, when we were in Florida, we were at the beach, at Alice Beach.
Yeah.
We went to this farmer's market and met this dude who sold these spices, and they were really freaking good. And we bought this big old thing of lemon pepper like seasoning.
Just
and,
ate it.
And I can. I'm not kidding. Like if I have a salad, like I'll cut up some grilled chicken and like put in salad. I'll like sprinkle them on there. It's really good.
Do you remember that? Well, you might not remember that because you're not chronically online like I am. But there was this like influencer on TikTok who was like, "I'm having my favorite snack," and he pulled out this glass of ice with lemon pepper on it, and he was just
What?
eating lemon pepper ice. Yeah,
That sounds intriguing.
because it's just the lemon pepper taste.
I know it's so good though.
If you put it on lettuce, what's the difference?
There was one.
It's really funny
Well,
though.
I'm putting on like chicken, but it's in. Yeah, I got you. But there was one night where I was like, just the night gets away from you, and it's like, oh crap, it's like 8 o'clock. Gotta make some dinner real quick. Not 8 o'clock, but like 7 o'clock. And so I like found like a fast lemon pepper chicken, like air fry.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is this movie about to you?
Now imagine that whole conversation, and Nick Cage is just standing in the background, not doing anything.
Not doing anything.
Not doing anything.
The movie.
A boom. This
Shaboom.
to me, this movie is about. Do you want me to give you like the whole like what I think?
Yeah, like, let's just dive in because this movie is abstract. I mean, we can talk about plot for sure, but like,
I think this movie is about the destructive nature of being unable to separate like dreams or hopes from reality.
okay,
And then on top of that, the main character is given like a first-hand lesson in this and does not learn the lesson. Does not learn the lesson.
why do you think he doesn't learn it?
Because of the ending, that last scene. Let me just dive into it.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so
Because the last scene is beautiful, but also really, really heartbreaking.
let me tell you what I see in the last scene.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I see with his relationship with his wife in the movie. I don't see any point in the movie where his wife appears to be on his side or appears to like care about him in any deep way. It seems like a very, I don't know, like
Marriage of convenience, maybe.
marriage of convenience, a marriage of like he's timid and she's like commandeering, and so she can just like control him. That's what it seems like throughout the entire thing. But he sees her differently than what reality is. Like throughout the movie, she's kind of like dismissive of him and like distant, and at certain points like dismissive of his experience and what he's going through in the movie, because like all this is happening to him, you know, and it's not all about him. Well, it kind of is all about him, but like even when he is like reacting in a certain way, she's like, no, you have to think about me. Like I don't know, like she's like, think about how this affects me. But he's like, I would have a mental breakdown if that was going.
Oh yeah.
If that was happening to me, I'd be like, please put your thing on hold because I'm freaking out right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I don't know.
I got you.
Like relationship is like, 50-50 kind of waivers, but like right now I need more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm freaking out.
I had 20, so you need to give 80.
Yeah,
And when you have
exactly.
vice versa.
Exactly.
When you have 20, I give 80.
So I don't think that relationship was good for him personally, just based on my viewing of the movie. And then at the end, he still has this dream, and then the last words he says are, "I wish this was real."
Which this was real.
So it's like throughout the movie, the entire world like turns against him because they have these dreams about him that he's not actually doing those things, except for when whatever he did to that woman's hand.
I couldn't tell what happened to her.
I don't know, it was gushing.
I thought, was it like her hand was like sliced open, or was her pinky like
Ripped
broken
off?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell either if it was a finger gone or if
Yeah.
it was. Anyways,
Doesn't matter.
all this stuff happens and the world like turns on him because his reality, who he actually is not what they think he is.
Yep.
And it's just so destructive, and all this crazy shit happens. And then at the end,
You getting emotional?
I'm freaking out. No, he doesn't learn that lesson. He doesn't get it. And so he's like, I wish this was real with his wife, whereas she's like probably been cheating on him with Chris for a while. I mean, who knows?
Which he almost does.
True. That's true. That's true. But he comes and starts farting. You're right. I'm not saying that but still
he's not innocent.
that doesn't it's not about like, well, you did this to me. It's about this relationship isn't good for him or her, in my opinion. Yeah. So that speaks to the point, right?
Okay, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, it's not about like, well, let's point fingers. It's about like, why are you doing this? But he still has these like illusions, these dreams or hopes that things will be different when I don't think they're ever going to be.
No, what's interesting about the last scene is I didn't really recognize it at first, but I kind of did a little bit of research and kind of got more informed, and someone pointed this out, and I thought, oh, that's true. So the ending scene is a dream that she describes, right? He's in his like talking heads crazy suit and is saving her.
Because he's inserted himself into her dream with the thing.
Yeah, but someone said, okay, watch the first scene of the movie. They're in his daughter's dream.
Okay.
She floats away. In the end, he floats away.
Okay.
So someone said he actually didn't even get into her dream. That's his dream. Which I think is interesting.
I don't know if that's... I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. We won't see. That's an interesting interpretation, but I don't... Okay, so dreams are very fluid, and different people experience them differently. So I don't think... Like, I hate the idea of like, oh, if you walk underneath a ladder in your dream, it means you have a conflict with X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, I don't believe in that shit.
This does say, I'm on Wikipedia, so it's very, very accurate. It says, he uses dream travel technology to attempt entering one of Janet's dreams while rescuing her wearing the burn suit. As he floats away, much like how Sophie did in the very first dream.
Sure.
Paul declares that he wishes this dream was reality.
I
think it's just an interesting... I don't know if it's an actual correct answer, but I thought it's an interesting...
You could also take it a different way. You could take it that Sophie in the first dream at the beginning of the movie desperately wanted something from Paul in the dream. And in the final dream, Paul desperately wanted something from his estranged wife.
Yeah.
And so he's floating away because he can't have it. And she was floating away because she couldn't have it. That doesn't mean it's his dream and her dream.
Maybe not, yeah. That's fair.
I'm just saying, like,
I think what's interesting is, like, even in that scene where, because we're kind of speaking on him and his wife, even in that scene where they're, he's like, I'm going to Paris, whatever, I bought a house.
Yeah.
And it's that really painful, like, awkward, like, hey, how are you? Like, we're, hey.
He's daydreaming. You see his
I know,
his
yeah.
daydream.
It's a really, really beautiful scene, but he still is too... Like, maybe it's fear of rejection or whatever, but he still won't, like, try and be like, I want to reconcile. He just was like, okay, yeah, I'll see you.
How would he reconcile with her?
Well, no, I'm saying, like...
Reconcile his feelings and, like...
Maybe.
That,
I'm not saying, like, that's what would have happened. I think that's what's hard about... That's what this movie's kind of about to me, where it's like, you have these expectations or these projections of what people are, who they are, or what things, or how things will go, and
they don't line up.
When they don't line up, it's painful, and so then after a while, the fear of that can change your behavior to avoid those. Think about it.
Happens to Molly.
Yes, is Molly the...
Molly's the fart girl, or she's not the fart
girl. Exactly. But think about it. Like, this has already been paramount in his life, because from the very beginning, like, he's not fully himself with his wife, because remember when he goes to see his former coworker, whatever, and he's like, "Oh, it went, it was fine. We didn't figure it out, but she hurt my." But
that's what I'm saying. So reality, like already from the beginning, like he's not, and she seems really like she's like, "I want you to get a recording of the conversation." That's wild. That's crazy.
And she says like,
I don't know.
She says like, "I want to hear how she reacts," but she could have been being like, "I want to hear what you say."
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and.
I don't know.
That's a weird act for anybody.
That's wild behavior.
Because he actually, I think, it's correct when he says like, it seemed like it wasn't like ethical or whatever.
Yeah, he is right, but he almost seems like shameful to say it to her.
Yeah.
And then there's the scene where an old girlfriend comes up after the play, and she's like, "I've been dreaming about you" or whatever, and then he like gives her number because they want to like get coffee and just talk about the dream.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you changed your name?" And he goes, and this is fine. It's fine to
Oh, I
take.
forgot about this word.
It's fine to take someone else's last name other than to be like patriarchy. You're taking mine, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. But he's like, we thought it'd be, or no, he said, I thought it would be. We thought it would be.
No, I think you're right the first time. I think he says we, and then he's like, no, I
Okay.
wanted to.
Yeah,
I wanted to. But it seems like, or something like that, where it
Right.
seems like he's like, well, you know, we thought, and then like looks at it, he's like, oh, I mean, I really wanted to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she, I don't know. I didn't like her. I didn't like
Yeah.
her throughout the whole movie, personally.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to see.
Did you like her?
I don't really know.
You have to pick sides. You have to choose a line in the sand and say, fuck that, screw that person.
I don't really. I don't like that controlling nature. I also not gonna say I don't like her.
I don't like her.
But I also like. I don't love Paul.
Well, I don't like Paul either. But I don't like her.
empathize a bit more with Paul. Like I can kind of see, but then towards the end,
Mm-hmm.
not towards the end, but like when things are happening, where I'm like, you're kind of missing the whole point of this.
Yeah.
Like his video, I was like, this is
Not that this should even have a point. Like, what? If I went through that, I wouldn't be like, and I learned a really good lesson.
well. I think
I'd be like, the world hates me. What has happened?
well, like I think it's funny because he's sort of contradictory, where he's like talking to, I don't know like the guy's name at the school, Brett, where he's like, don't say lived experience, and then he's like, I have lived experience. You know what I mean? Like he like wish washes or whatever. And I don't think he
yeah, he doesn't get it.
like I don't think he knows. So I heard this theory, and when I thought about it, I was like, that's really fascinating. So if you look at it, Tim Meadows, that's the actor, Brett, right, and Janet don't dream about him.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're ones that really know him
Okay.
the best, at least out of everybody.
Don't his daughters know him?
I don't know,
Okay.
but I'm trying to think in the sense of like
I don't think his wife knows him.
teenage daughters.
I don't think his wife knows him.
Maybe she does. Maybe she knows how to manipulate him or whatever degree. Maybe she knows him. Everybody else who doesn't know about Paul or know Paul, dream about Paul. And there's a scene when all this is going on where he dreams about himself. And it was
Okay.
like he doesn't even know himself anymore.
It's
right?
an interesting thought, but there are definitely people in the world that don't dream about him. So like,
Yeah. Michael Cera.
Michael Cera doesn't dream about him. Are you saying that Michael Cera like knows him on a deep level?
I'm not saying it's a perfect theory, but I just thought it was interesting.
I'm trying to think who else. Oh, the dinner party guy. The husband doesn't dream about him, or at least
He's known him
he
since
never.
college.
Okay, but like, there's people I've known since college that I don't know.
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
He doesn't invite him to
Calm
his.
down.
If he knew him, he would invite him to his dinner
I don't think
parties.
he likes him.
Okay, so
What do you think about? I mean, like, what do you think about Paul? Like, he makes me sad, but also makes me angry.
Paul is a
He's-
tragic character for
he
sure.
seems very entitled to like, or he thinks he's entitled
To
to like his credit that he supposedly should have, even though he hasn't done any of the
that's
work.
an academic thing.
You know what I mean? Though, like, there's things where it's just like
I mean, it was his
like,
idea. That's an academic thing. If you, yeah. I mean, on the other hand, the woman who he's talking to, whose name I can't remember, she is right. There's a difference between having an idea and like actually doing it.
He's trying to get a book deal, but he hasn't even written a book.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
So he's
that,
unmotivated.
Well, he just seems like but it bothers him when he's caught out on it, even if it's subconsciously, because he's in all these dreams, he doesn't do anything, and he's like, obviously doesn't like that.
Right. Well, because he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, no.
So it's kind of like a projection of who he is.
Yeah.
And then as people's view of him changes, his view of himself changes, and it becomes really toxic, and then he starts murdering them in their dreams.
Well, I was going to say, what do you think was the catalyst for the change?
It was him slowly changing. I just said it. Like in the dreams, I just said it. Like as
But like, was it when he was yelling like "fuck, fuck, fuck, fuck" because
I don't think it was like one thing
No?
because
or the shame of like the comfort.
well, no, because that might have been the catalyst for like the actual murders and stuff.
Okay,
because
like,
at that point,
it became anger, maybe.
yeah, it became anger, but it was definitely changing because that happened before the other thing. So before, at the beginning, he was doing nothing in the dreams, and then
Yeah.
little by little, he started doing more things. At one point, his daughter has a dream about him just like running and running and high stepping and like
Every
doing
time it showed
crazy
that,
stuff.
That frame again of like her in a room, I was like, he's gonna pop out. I was
Yeah.
ready for him to pop out.
But he fulfills this like risky fantasy
Yeah.
for her.
It's super. Also,
So-
for the record, that when her dream starts, if that was my dream, and that figure's in the corner, I'm waking up. 'Cause that was scary as hell.
Well, maybe.
Anyway, continue.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Seems like she was into it
Yeah,
in a
well,
certain way.
maybe.
But so I think as the world views him differently and his ego gets like bigger and bigger, it becomes more toxic in his like unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And then that is
Projected.
thrown out into the collective unconscious.
Yeah, it's like a hive mind.
I don't know about hive mind. Hive mind would be like
Well, no, I'm a hive
some
subconscious.
some bee
I know
has a thought,
You know
and
what I mean.
everybody on Earth says the same thing at the same time.
You know what I mean.
That'd be like hive mind.
You know what I mean.
It'd be like if you were just like chilling at the park, and then everyone stands up, looks at you, and just starts going all at the same time, and you're like, "Oh no, what has happened? I must be living in a hive mind society, and I'm the only one that is not part of the hive mind." And you're just like, that would be a hive mind.
Are you done?
It's the collective unconscious.
I got it.
You can say zeitgeist again if you want.
It's the zeitgeist.
Okay. Now we're back on the same page. What was I saying?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh,
But as that becomes
yeah,
more
yeah.
toxic, I think, so his projection of himself then projects into the dream and becomes more toxic and more violent.
Yeah.
And then it comes back and it's like a reverberation effect, because then he actually does like break a girl's hand. And he does become, I think at the beginning, I can sort of, like, I'm telling you, academics are like, I need credit. This is my idea.
Yeah.
Ideas are like gold for academics. So
Okay.
like, I can kind of at least see where he's coming from. I don't like it,
Yeah.
but like, I don't think he's necessarily, like, that's the space he's in, right? So, but I think as the movie goes on, he becomes more and more entitled, where he's like, no. And then he gives the apology that, like, I probably also would have been freaking out in my apology.
Yeah.
I would have been like, but like,
But it wasn't a I'm sorry. He was
It was
saying,
not-
like, he was
yeah.
like I'm you're doing this to me, which I mean I'm not
Isn't
saying I'm not
untrue,
saying he wasn't affected.
but yeah,
But he is also resistant to anybody else's experience of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He's like, this is ridiculous. They need to grow up. And it's just like, well, no, they're being affected by something.
they are being affected by something.
Even if you don't agree with it or you think it might not shouldn't affect them, you're not the one who's being you don't have the lived experience.
It's a difficult thing because I see where he's coming from, where he's like, I've built a career and like his students aren't showing up to class, and he's kind of being told like, you need to step away.
Yeah.
And he's like, I haven't done anything,
Yeah.
you know? And I kind of see where he's coming from. And then the ad agency calls him up and they're like, we could get you on Tucker Carlson or Joe Rogan. And I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
I was laughing at that. That was so funny.
And then I started to realize,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
it's funny because, like, I mean, again, I just think that there's a way to, like, do that in a way of being like, this is obviously affecting a lot of people. You know what I mean? If you're going to apologize, then apologize.
Do you think, I don't want to sound all right.
We can do it.
Do you we're not going to do
No,
all
I'm
right.
saying, like, we can, we're not, good God, we're not that.
Do you think an apology would have helped? People still would have been like, get out of my diner. Like, because they still had those dreams. They still had
Yeah.
that like visceral experience.
Yeah.
Like, do you think a genuine, like, I am sorry apology?
It's wild because I don't know if him actually being like, I'm sorry,
Because they've still gone through that trauma. Like, it's
Would
still,
have helped
it'd still be
anything,
real for them.
but I think respecting it in a sense of being like, I don't understand what's happening. I'm not doing anything to you. Like, I'm not trying to do anything.
Mhm.
I want to understand what's happening. To help wouldn't have made it worse,
Sure.
but to be like, I am the biggest victim. Me.
Yeah, that was pretty,
is like-
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like,
if I felt like the world was against me, I might not be in the headspace to be like,
true.
I understand everyone is affected.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a selfish person, but like if the whole world hated me, I might be freaking out. I'm telling you, I would be
I mean, I understand
freaking out.
that. Yeah.
And it would be like a month-long freak out session. So I empathize with him a little bit there. I also think he did try, because he did the CBT,
I was about to say,
which, by the way, no, that's not. It's not just like, here's a picture.
Yeah.
Now let's bring the guy who murdered you into the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it.
I had the sneeze coming on.
Bless you. You were gonna say something.
I was about to say that. I was about to say he did, at least at the start of it, try to be like, hey, like, I don't know what's going on, but like, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just trying. But I mean, there is a little bit of commentary on like the modern, like, I hate using the word cancel culture because it's so politicized, but like,
here we go. We're gonna be on Joe Rogan next week.
No. Like, I'm not trying to be, but like, when he freaked out about someone doing his car or whatever, which I understand, like, that's vandalism. That's a crime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the clip that goes viral is him yelling at them, and the car's not even in the shot.
Exactly. Yeah. And that happens all the time with like out of context.
All right, now we are sounding a little.
Well, no, I'm saying like there was a thing about Emma Stone and Taylor Swift when she won her Oscar.
Yeah.
And they're like really good friends or whatever, and she made a joke about like, oh, she didn't even like clap for, didn't even smile for me, like, what an asshole. And if you watch the clip, she's obviously joking, and like she's like, no, I love her, but someone like that clip went viral. It's like, Emma Stone called Taylor Swift an asshole, and it's just like, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
But I do think that Paul makes it worse.
For sure. Like right from the beginning.
Because he like invalidates.
His wife, the one thing that I think his wife was right about was like, be cautious with this.
Yeah.
When she's like, hey, think before you do anything. And then he like looks at her, and then it cuts to him like on the news.
Yes,
that was funny.
Well, I think what it is like, it's so common now. People are like, oh, people are so sensitive. It's like, well, no, you're just an asshole. But like Paul is the one who's saying like, I'm not being hurtful or mean. You're just too sensitive. It's like, no, you can't say that for somebody. If you say a joke that you think is funny, but it's hurtful to me, you don't get a pass. You see what I'm saying?
The difference is he didn't say a joke. He's at his house reading a book.
I understand. Maybe it's more like metaphorical, but in this instance, something is happening to people.
That's the thought experiment, right? Is that he's literally, he didn't do something that some people found offensive. He is existing. Yeah. He exists, and it's, hurting people. Well, essentially
there are people. That's a slippery slope.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
No,
like
I
that's the thought experiment.
I'm trying to figure out if I want to say what I'm going to say, because it can get really, really. I'm going to talk about LGBTQ because there are people who view their existence as like an attack on ideologies or like you, because you exist, you're going to influence my child to be gay or something. It's like, that's not how that works.
Right.
So they're not even victimized, but like vilified for being who they are.
But okay, so let me preface it, and we might cut this whole thing.
Yeah,
we might cut this whole little segment out.
This is the thought thing. This is a.
Everyone has the right to make a choice on how they identify and who they are and how they look, feel, all that. This is different because those people did something or like chose to make a statement and say like, I identify in a certain way. I put pronouns on so they've done something to trigger something. Does that make sense?
He's done nothing.
He's done nothing. You see the difference? And again,
this is tough.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is tough because I don't.
At the beginning, now throughout the movie, his ego grows and grows and grows, but at the beginning, he's done nothing.
And perhaps we're taking it too literally too. Like maybe it's just all more of a thought experiment, like you said. But it is very interesting to kind of talk about that and kind of because like I don't know, because then you have this whole commentary on like celebrity where it's like when he's at getting a drink with that girl and like they're all filming and it's like, well, obviously you're gonna be rumors are gonna start and that does kind of get to his head, but yeah, that's interesting because I don't know, like I feel like it walks a good line of saying like, well, hey, you know, like when he's at the diner, just having his meal or whatever,
reading a book,
eating
pie or whatever.
He gets like asked to leave, and he's like, I didn't do anything, so no, I'm gonna stay here. And then he gets beat up. But neither of like I think it's kind of saying like, well, neither of these things help to find a solution. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be one who's like, hey, I feel this way about you, even though I don't even know you. I'm gonna attack you. I mean, it's like people through like social media. You know what I mean? I don't know you, but I'm gonna attack you for some reason. But also not being respectful of like, hey, you're feeling something for some reason. You know what I mean? It's really tough. That's tough.
Yeah,
it's fascinating.
Makes me wonder if I don't know. Like if I ever saw like an actor who had played like a really bad guy in a movie,
I'm not gonna think they're a bad person.
Right, but if I was just like to the waiter like he was Voldemort.
I'm really uncomfortable.
Can we get him out of here?
Yeah, I don't.
He was Voldemort.
He was Voldemort.
They'd be like, "Are you stupid?
Are you crazy?"
So that's the thing is not only gosh, I don't know, because I do think it's important to respect people's lived experience.
Yeah, yes.
And like their dreams and like what they go for or go through, but people who don't have the dreams are just like, yeah, you need to leave. You know what I mean? Like people who weren't necessarily affected by it.
They become they like assume the role of like the warrior for them and be like, get out of here.
Well, they weren't. That girl wasn't like, get out of here, but she also.
But the other guy was.
Yeah, he might have had the dreams. I mean, who knows?
Maybe, yeah.
Who knows? Because he was giving him that look, like, not in my town, blah. You know that look?
Yeah, I know that look. Blah.
Blah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's. Do you think this is all a dream?
No.
Movie? No.
No, he would have woken up at some point.
I saw a thing that said like that scene where he can't turn off the lights.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw a thing that said that apparently lucid dreamers say that a good indicator that you're in a dream is like light switches don't function as they should.
See, that's the kind of shit that I'm saying. How could that be true? Because everyone dreams differently.
I don't know. I've never studied dreams.
All lucid dreamers say that lights will not turn off.
Well, they said it's a common thing. I don't know. I'm
just saying, like, I don't.
You don't put any stake in that?
How could that be true?
I don't know. I don't study dreams.
I've told you about my dreams, right?
I think so.
And whenever I have a weird dream, and I'll tell you about it. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had a dream like that, or do you have normal dreams?
I have weird dreams.
Tell me about one.
I had a dream last night that I was on Arrakis.
Okay.
And stuck in like a time loop. I'm not kidding, actually. It was like I was with. I think I must have been Paul, maybe.
Okay.
But we were going somewhere.
So you were engaged in a holy war? And
it was like a cycle of like trying to ship out on like one of those, what are they called? Thopters, whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. And it was like every time, but during this time I was waking up a lot. So every time I would fall asleep, it'd like start over. It was really weird. Maybe the whole thing was a dream. I don't know.
So you were
but I also was reading Dune before I went to bed. So that's probably what I was.
Oh, okay. I did dream that you were like a dictator.
Oh, cool.
And like if anyone like even slightly, like if someone just looked at you and didn't smile the right way, you would behead them. You would just on the spot.
I thought you were going to make a joke about my nose or my hairline.
No. Why would I do that?
Well, if they did that, that'd be.
Yeah.
Cross the line.
Supreme Leader? I would never. I would never do such a thing. I guess what I'm saying is people dream differently. Some people dream it's just like colors. Just like, ooh, ooh, and then they wake up. So how could you say
that color means
if the light switch does not work, that means
I think it's just like
you ever been in a house that you're not used to and you
you don't know
flip
what the
6 switches and the light's not turning off, that doesn't mean you're in a lucid dream.
Maybe
it
it
means you
does.
haven't found the switch.
Maybe we're in the
I
Matrix.
bet you that light was turned on by a switch up at the top of the stairs,
Maybe.
because that's very common in basements.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's all a dream.
I don't either.
I just feel like maybe I feel like this movie's it's more. The more we talk about it, the more I feel like it's more just centralized within Paul's own head, in the sense of like his what are they doing out there?
Playing with trains.
His perception and like
And cars.
how his personality and stuff evolved through this. Because then, you know, I think it's what's funny is that he essentially in a way becomes. I think you've kind of said this. He becomes
The monster.
the monster in the dreams.
I would too.
You know what I mean?
There'd be no choice other than to like
But
go down that road.
But like in a way, like is that a better thing to have part of it, where he's like now he's being bolder, he's taking action. He's like, I'm gonna go see my daughter and see her play. I'm gonna go do it. It's not the best way to do it because it goes wrong.
Yeah.
But like at the beginning, he's so like
I would have gone in.
he's so timid and so passive.
wearing some sort of like
Disguise.
monster suit and be like to everybody, you know.
I think it's maybe like the blending of, because the director said that he wanted to be like a is it Jungian thing, you know, where it's like the shadow self and like the merging of all the parts of him
Okay.
finally kind of coming together a little bit, but not even completely, because at the end he still has that dream of like reaching out to his wife and doesn't.
Right.
There's still timidness. There's still fear.
Yep.
Remember when the guy breaks in and he's like, I'm not sure, maybe you could consider it because you have no alarm. You could move out or you can get a dog. He does those two things.
Then he
You
has a
know?
dream with a dog's dead, and that really upset me.
I missed that one.
That was the advertisement dream. He's walking in his apartment, and his dog's just like dead on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And then the guy's like your shoes. Do you want to dance?
So that whole thing was interesting to me because, like, I get what they're doing. Like, everything can be taken by the mainstream zeitgeist and monetized and, like, you know, socialized, whatever. And it's like, now we're like dream influencers, whatever. I didn't necessarily need that whole part, but like,
I would remove my brain if y'all were putting advertisements in my brain. Have you seen Black Mirror?
no, I've seen like a couple parts of episodes. I never watched it though.
Okay. There's an episode where like it's basically like, well, you think it's like a post-apocalyptic Earth, like the world is just like not good, and so everyone's like in these buildings and they can't go outside. But they have to like watch advertisements to get credits to like eat. And so like dude will be in his bedroom and all of his walls and the ceiling in his room is just like a LED screen. And so it'll just like pop up while he's trying to sleep and be like, do you want to watch this ad? You'll get 50 credits. And he'll either accept it or decline it. And
Wow.
that's
That's where we are, though. I mean, that's like, you know, everything that we watch. I mean, even videos, like even on social media, there's commercials essentially.
I don't do.
I run ads.
You do run ads.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I don't do like Instagram and stuff like that.
yeah.
The only apps I really use are Twitter, which I'm not looking at ads. I'm just looking at like the shit show.
Like meltdown of society.
And then I have YouTube, but not a sponsor. Here's an ad.
Yeah.
I subscribe to YouTube Prime or whatever it's called so that
Premium.
I don't have ads. Like
Okay.
I use it enough that I'm like, this is worth it to me to like not have to watch an
Yeah.
ad ever because I hate them. I hate advertisements.
Yeah.
Hate them.
Yeah.
So if we ever advertise for your product, that means I believe in it.
I can just use this. I'll use this section. I'll use this clip as like an ad for us. I hate ads.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate ads, and that's why I bought.
But it's funny because, like, I mean, I get why that was in there. I just think I feel like that might have made it to, like, I don't know if that was necessarily needed.
What?
More of a
The
that was
advertisement
like a means
band?
for him. A means for him to,
It
like,
felt like the movie was going in a direction, and then it just.
that was a weird little detour for a second. And if, like I said, it felt like a way to let him be like, I can try and travel to Janet's dream now,
Right.
which I didn't really. I don't know.
Yeah. So
I felt
ham-fisted.
it would have almost been more powerful in a way. Well, I don't know. Like if he didn't have that like wristband, and the dream at the end still happened, and you're like,
It just
well,
happens.
Whose dream was it? Was
The
it
dream
his?
happens.
Was it hers?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So here we go. So screw the armband with the advertisements. He tries to reconcile, has that daydream, and then decides, no, I'm just gonna pull back. The day ends. They both lay down to bed. You see them both close their eyes, and then you see the dream.
And you're not sure whose.
And you're not sure whose dream it is.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
824. Call us.
Call us.
We'll make a movie about. He'll be the main actor, and he'll be a dictator.
Okay.
But then he'll also fly to Arrakis.
Yes.
And there'll be a time loop. So we're going to have Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. And we're going to have a time loop. Yep.
It can be an Edge of Tomorrow sequel.
Edge of Arrakis.
Edge of Arrakis. Arrakeen. I'm like 200 pages in.
It's good, isn't it?
Which is a big deal for me because this is a dense book.
I'm reading it too.
Okay.
It is a dense book.
Yeah.
It's very dense.
I mean, like it's long.
But I do think that the context of the movies. Okay, so like I didn't realize Fade Routha is actually like in the book. Like when they were like, Austin Butler's playing Fade Routha. I was like, who?
I knew he
and I
was
had read the book.
because like Sting plays him in the old one.
True, that's true.
But there's a lot more. I like it. This is a different conversation, but I really like it. I'm very proud of myself for reading because I like the idea of being a reader.
Mm-hmm.
But Dune is like a hefty.
This is your opportunity to reconcile reality and like who you think you are. So if you finish this book and you want to read the second one, maybe you're a reader. If you don't finish the book, just abandon.
Just reading.
Just abandon that dream that idea of yourself. As
I just bought like 3 more books, so I better read them.
What'd you buy?
Not Dune books. They're like other books. I wrote a book called "What Makes You Bloom" by Kevin Garcia.
Water and sunlight.
It's not about that, but then I bought a book called "For the Love of Men." It's about toxic masculinity and relationships. And then I'm gonna buy a book of poetry, I believe.
There's certain clips. Oh, book of poetry. That's nice.
Yeah, I love poetry.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm artistic.
Speaking on the idea of like we were talking about earlier when the video of him outside of his car having like a breakdown, it's like just like one small clip of like a bigger picture.
Yeah.
There are certain like small clips that we could take of this podcast where if it was like we were talking about like, cancel culture clip. And then you're like, I bought a book on toxic masculinity clip. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I know we could.
People would be like, these.
And I don't think this movie's about cancel culture. And I think cancel culture
I don't think
has a place, frankly. But I do think that this is showing both sides of that coin of being like, well, our ideas of people can go crazy and we can decide who they are before we even know them. And then on the other side of that, there's a tendency to invalidate other people's perceptions of you, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if Hannah was like, hey, you're being a dick. And I'm like, I'm not being a dick. Okay, well, I might have been doing something that even if I wasn't intending on being an asshole, I could have seemed like one.
Sure.
So let's find where that bridge is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
That's called relationships.
But does he need to have that relationship with the entire world?
No, this is obviously like an exaggerated version of it, but that comes with celebrity too. I think that is part of it where it's like, I'll never understand why you don't like Harry Styles. He's perfect.
I don't like him.
But
I'm telling you.
But Harry can see this, and he'll never be able to convince you to like him.
Let me say something.
You know what I mean?
Let me say something. Okay. Okay.
Then we can wrap it up. We're almost done.
I am not saying that Harry has done anything.
Uh-huh.
But I will say that for years, decades, maybe 2 decades, because we're 30. Yeah. So like since I was like 9, I never liked Tim Allen.
Who's like the actor?
Yeah. Never liked him.
Why?
I don't know. I just never liked him.
He's Buzz Lightyear.
Sure. I don't like him.
He's Santa Claus.
That's true. I don't like him. I don't like those movies. I like Toy Story.
I have no opinion of him as a person. I don't know who he is as a person.
Okay. Cool.
But
I'm just saying.
I understand. Yeah, there's people who just like, I just don't know. Anyway, you got anything else to add? Don't you have a question to ask me?
I drummed it. Did you get it?
Oh.
Here, let me dream it at
I
you.
just trimmed it back, though.
But Hunter. But is dream scenario good?
Oh, I got it. Wow. Whew. Was that hard?
It's really like meditation.
Okay.
And the other person has to want you in their dream. Otherwise, this isn't going to work.
Okay. Gotcha.
Sorry, that was
Do you have like a wristband I could maybe use to like...
one that looks like a big old cock ring with an LED light on it.
He's not entirely wrong.
Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not. Oh, goodness.
Ask me again so I could post this on social media without having that part in it.
You don't want to put that on,
I will.
on
I don't care.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the most innocent person, like family, friends, people at the barbecue.
Oh man.
But is dream scenario good?
It is phenomenal. Good movie. Great movie. Is this going good? Tentative, maybe.
It's really good. It's really good.
Okay.
I don't want to start throwing everything in the golden
Yeah,
good like we
gotcha.
did last year, and then we have too many and we have to cut some out.
Gotcha.
I don't know if this is
We'll see.
golden good material.
We'll come back if we need like a slot filler.
Now, if there's a category for best movie in which somebody comes in their pants and then farts,
This is it.
this is the winner.
This is it.
You know.
Okay, cool. Time for every movie sucks.
I bet you there's another movie where that happens this year.
We'll see.
Everything happens in pairs.
I didn't say my actually no, I said it was phenomenal. Wait, never mind. We did it.
You said it was phenomenal.
I did.
It's good. It's phenomenal. It's really good.
Good movie. Every movie sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Every movie sucks. Every movie sucks. This is let me see here. This is Half Star from B. Hudson. This movie was absolutely terrible. I'm begging you not to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn.
Thanks, I hated it.
This is Carly Anderson. Half Star. What a shame. Honest to God, the first half was so good. Then IDK, what the WTF happened? I'm so sad. This movie's sad and weird. This man will never catch a break. How the F did Josh Richards get a role in this movie?
Didn't we say we were going to stop naming people?
Oh, yeah, I cut that up.
No. We'll keep it in there. It's funny.
Okay.
This one says horrifyingly pretentious, annoying characters, pointless. I will say, I thought every single character in this movie was annoying. I don't think there was anyone that wasn't annoying.
I wonder if that was the point.
Like everybody.
Let's see here. This is Half Star. It's my last one. Seemed cool at first, but then Nick Cage jizzed his pants.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do it.
I've come to the conclusion I have a fear of Nicolas Cage and could not watch this movie because his weird vibe was repulsing.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, cool. Shindigs?
Yeah.
Shindig. News. I have news. News? I have news.
And I'm waiting on it.
Oh, cool. Just wanted you to acknowledge that it exists.
Oh, it's time for the news, guys. Let's all get super excited. Oh my
Okay, here we go. Francis
goodness
Ford
gracious.
Coppola's
I'm so excited for the news. I'm
Megalopolis.
so ready to hear the news. Do you know what I want to do right now?
Hear the news?
Do you know what I want to do right now?
Hear the news.
I want to sit here and listen to you talk about movie news.
Thank you.
And I think you're starting off with Nicolas Cage's uncle.
Yes, Francis Ford Coppola. His film Megalopolis is facing an uphill battle for a proposed $100 million marketing deal.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. Julia Garner from
Ozark.
apparently has been cast as a Silver Surfer in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And people have opinions.
People have opinions on most things.
Yeah, I think she's great. That's an interesting choice, but
Yeah.
I think she's great. Drew Goddard is going to direct a new Matrix film.
Weren't we done?
We were, but money.
Well, but okay.
Warner Brothers doesn't know when to stop. Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman are going to star in the remake of The Roses. Okay, Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum star in the first trailer for the Apollo 11 era Fly Me to the Moon.
Okay.
Dune Messiah is officially in development. Hell yeah. A fourth Bridget Jones film is being developed with Renee Zellweger and Hugh Laurie coming back.
Mm-hmm.
The official Superman logo has been revealed for the movie. James Gunn posted that they've started filming season 2 of Peacemaker.
Did you watch Peacemaker?
No, I saw bits of it. I heard it's really good. I just had I don't. Shows are tough for me. I can't. It's a lot of lots.
It's too much.
Too much.
It's too much.
The Michael Jackson biopic is said to have about 30 songs in it and be really, really long.
Okay. Wait, they're making a. How did I miss that they were making a Michael Jackson?
Yeah, his
biopic?
like nephew or whatever is playing him and looks just like him.
Is it gonna cover everything?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
An R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie about the last Ronin or whatever is being developed.
Or whatever.
I don't know. There's so many things called Ronin. There's one in Marvel. There's one in Ninja Turtles.
It's two.
There's two
It's
Ronins.
two. That's two things, Hunter.
I'm not done. Keanu Reeves will reprise his role as John Wick in the Ana de Armas ballerina film. That is a prequel.
Or whatever. There's too many ballerinas.
Too many ballerinas. That's a prequel, just so everyone knows. So it's before he dies. And then we have the first trailer for Joker Folie à Deux, which looks interesting.
It looks like La La Land for people on SSRIs.
Maybe. I don't know why we need it. I didn't think that we needed the first one, but
Yeah.
in the first one I liked. I liked Joaquin.
I say that as a person who's on SSRIs.
Yeah, I liked Joaquin Phoenix's performance above all because it was great. But the movie's a little derivative. I mean, it's essentially Taxi Driver and King of Comedy with Joker, but we'll see. I mean, it's
Wasn't the
interesting.
first one also, or is that what you were saying?
Yeah, like
Okay.
it's
So the
that's-
second one's going to be derivative of things.
Yeah, probably. It's like I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Interesting. And then ended on some sad news. Chance Perdomo from Gen 5 passed away last week. And then that's all I've got.
Well, is it time for the Braves minute?
Time of the Braves minute. I'm going to pour whiskey while we're doing that.
We're going to have two shots. Two half shots. We're really just going to have like an actual shot today. But we're
After
gonna
this, do you want to bring Hollis in?
Sure, we can bring Hollis in.
Cool.
But the first shot, the first half shot, I only want like a fourth of a shot. I don't want to. Is a moment of silence for Spencer Strider's UCL. So let's take a shot and just give it a moment.
What happened to us? Sorry.
Moment of silence means you don't talk. Moment of silence means you don't talk.
Got it.
So Spencer Strider had some weird feelings in his throwing elbow. Went to a doctor. It was probably not worst case scenario because it wasn't a full tear, but he's already gotten season-ending surgery.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
That sucks.
I hope so. He's had Tommy John in the past. And this technically wasn't Tommy John, but I think you could like.
It's close. It's brutal.
It's close to Tommy John. And so I hope he has a full recovery. I'm rooting for him. I hope Max stays.
Yeah.
But I was ready for Spencer Strider to
like the
step
face.
into that role and be like
the ace.
our ace.
The next generation.
Yeah,
ace
moving
of the
forward.
Braves.
I do hope Max stays. I'll say that. Max had a great start yesterday.
He did.
No, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Was not
Whatever.
yesterday.
Doesn't
Yesterday was Chris Sale, and Chris Sale had a bit of a rough go.
He didn't have any help from the umps.
That's true.
He still should have made the pitches, but like.
Also, yesterday's game, the Braves had like 12 balls that were hit with an exit velo of like 110, and they were either like ground outs or like fly outs or like whatever. So
one of those games.
That'll even out, you know.
One of those games.
It's one of those games for sure. The Braves getting punched in the you know, they have a couple shiners, but we'll be good. I'm telling you, we don't need to worry about the Braves until October.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
when you have to worry about them.
That's true.
I'm not going to make any predictions. I was going to say
Yeah.
something, but I don't want to be like
Well,
Sal.
That was very brave of you.
The New York guy.
Yeah, because that'll come back to bite you. But then we could go viral, and then we could.
The Braves will win the division this year.
Heard it here first, folks.
It's locked up. They'll never relinquish the lead.
Oh, wow. Okay. I hope you're right.
They'll never relinquish their lead.
Well, that was very brave of you.
Even though they have, 4 losses? 5 losses?
4.
4 losses. 3 of them are to division rivals.
Yeah.
And one of them's to the freaking White Sox, who are like 2-11 or something.
The Marlins were 2-11 until yesterday. Now they're 3-11.
But
which they're gonna be 3-12 today, so that's fine.
you know what? This happened last year, where we dropped a series to the White Sox, and they were like one of the worst teams.
No, it wasn't the White Sox. It was the A's. We got swept by the A's.
We got swept to the A's, but I think we also dropped a series
Really?
to the White Sox.
Wow.
We lost 2 out of 3.
That's fitting.
It is fitting. It's we need to light a fire.
Light a fire.
Yeah.
Come on, Snip.
That's how I light a fire. Yeah. So, go Braves.
Go Braves. That's very brave of you, Zach.
It's the bravest thing I've done all week.
Whiskey shots to our beloved Whiskey and Jack, and to monster trucks.
Monster trucks. Hell yeah.
Yeehaw.
Hell yeah. Monster truck.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Tell somebody that you hate that you love them.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Get some Lee Greenwood up in here.
Huh?
Lee Greenwood, that's who sings that. Well, at least I know.
No, I'm free.
Well, he sings. He has an album.
Okay.
My parents had. My dad had a Lee Greenwood album.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mid 2000s.
I'm trying to think what they played at motocross. I swear I think it was that
Probably
American Girls
Oh, probably.
and American Guy. You know, the Toby Keith song
Yeah.
about
R.I.P. He's a fun dude. Toby Keith was.
he did a lot.
Put a boot in your ass. It's the American way.
Okay. Yep. Yep. And I think they just had flags going and people on motorcycles and flames, and that's the moment when I was like,
American
oh,
fun. Yeah.
okay.
Monster trucks. All right, yeah.
In the Georgia, was that the
That was the dome.
dome?
That was pre-bins.
Where can they find it? You have water?
Not much. Hardly any.
It's fine.
They can find us. What did you say?
I said, where can they find us? I said, where can they find us?
They can find us at But Is It Good Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can find us at BIIG Podcast on X. You can email us at biigpodcast@gmail.com, as well as budisitgoodpodcast@gmail.com. Follow Zach on Instagram. He doesn't get on it, but you can follow him anyway at Zach with an H. What? Zach with an H2, the number. THA future.31. Zach to the future.31. And you can follow me at Hunter Callahan Music everywhere. And that's it.
That's 8 different places where
Yeah.
you can reach us. I didn't include myself
Yeah.
because I'm not going to check it. Follow me.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Anyway, we'll be
You can
posting
look at that one picture of me, you, and
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl. Well, it's you, me, Chase.
No, it's Jared. It's me, you, Jared, and Dave Grohl.
Oh, is it? Chase isn't in the...
Yeah, Chase
Why
not
wasn't
in-
Chase in the picture?
I don't think Chase really... I don't know, actually.
Because did he know the bass player for...
John Driscoll Hopkins.
Yeah.
Probably talking to him.
He's
yeah.
probably talking to him.
Yeah.
Probably what it was.
Although he does like Foo Fighters, so...
Foo Fighters.
Anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen. Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters. We'll be posting the schedule tomorrow from the time of this is released. Perfect. Amazing.
But is it good podcast? Yeah, 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 yeah.